Alright, so in this one, I'm going to be talking about Fallout Episode 2. So it opens up with the incineration of little puppies. Like, I didn't notice this on my first watch. That is supremely messed up. Oh my god. Basically, if these dogs don't weigh more than 10 pounds, they get rid of the dogs because they're this is all a reference to Dogmeat, who is like a very popular dog character in Fallout. So this is Dr. Wilzig. This is the doctor that escaped from the Enclave and the one that the Brotherhood of Steel is looking for, and soon Lucy as well will be looking for him. And you can see that he's getting very attached to this dog. He has like a good heart. This one dog, the puppy, weighs like 9 pounds, but he kind of tips the scale a bit to 10 pounds.
Is that a good place for you?
He has like the chalkboard sliding up. There's like a secret little room there, like a little doghouse. But more importantly, he's working on something that he clearly doesn't feel like the Enclave should own. And it's like this little LED transistor looking thing. I'm not entirely sure what it is. And notice where he put, I'll call it the transistor just for the sake of simplicity here. But he put it in his head, like deep inside his head, not in his neck. It was like right up here. And that will come into play later. But then he's interrupted by another Enclave scientist, and he's immediately like, okay, what's going on? There's a hole in the wall.
Why would you do that?
And there's like this big like entanglement they have. And then the dog, he jumps at this other Enclave scientist and just brutalizes him, rips him apart. I obviously can't show that here, but trust me, very gory. So obviously this guy has to get out of the Enclave. He runs out of there with his dog. It's not clear whether or not the Enclave is working with the Brotherhood of Steel. It's possible the Brotherhood of Steel just knows this scientist is very important, and that like this little transistor, like they say in episode 1, it could control the wasteland if you own it. There's this really dark scene that's just after this where Lucy enters this household, and there's a family at dinner. They're obviously very dead. There's a bottle that she picks up and it says Vault-Tec Plan B. Vault-Tec sold a Plan B in case you couldn't afford Plan A, which is obviously getting to the vaults. That's going to cost you a pretty penny. So regular families took this drink and it just killed them. That's incredibly dark. Wow. Also, you have no idea how badly I want a Pip-Boy. Like, those things look so amazing to have.
Before the war, people joked about cockroaches.
So he tells her, you don't have what it takes to survive out here in the wasteland. You should just go back to your vault. And obviously she's not going to be doing that. So Maximus and his knight Titus are still looking for the Dr. Wilzig. They obviously want what's in his head. They know he's important. Now, Knight Titus is kind of a, how would I describe him? He's kind of an idiot, but that part's coming up. For now, he's like, you know what? I'm bored. I know we're on this very important mission to find this doctor, but I want to shoot something. Set this vertebrate down right now. Now, Maximus and Titus eventually come across a cave. So it turns out that the cave that Maximus and Titus come across contains a Yaogwai. And you can see how cowardly Titus is. He's like,
go see if the target's in there. This is an act of bravery.
This is how you earn your power armor, through acts of bravery. Like, even though this guy has 10 tons of power armor on, he's still too scared to go check what the growl was. Come on. Yeah, also, once he like punches the Yaogwai and the Yaogwai like takes the hit. Also, I just mentioned the Yaogwai is it's like a mutated bear. Every animal got mutated and became bigger basically from the Fallout. But Titus is like, so it's like Knight Titus does something really stupid here, because yeah, he's very like injured from the bear attack, and he's like laying on the ground and he's like, all right, get this thing off me. First off, I want to point out that when his helmet is off, he sounds way less badass. So back to what he does. He says like, okay, give me that stim pack. And then he goes off on what feels like, this seems a little odd in that it feels like the actor ran out of dialogue.
Can you give me a stim pack instead of just standing there? I'm asking you for a stim pack and you're looking at me. You're looking at me like you don't know what to do. I got a 2-ton irradiated bear on my back and you're standing there. You stupid mother. You know this is all your fault.
And he just wanted to like fill in dead air because he keeps going on and on. But then he eventually says something stupid. He says like, you know what they do to squires that don't do their job like you did. Because he's saying like, okay, Maximus, this is all your fault. I never fucked up with the bear. You did. And he details what happens to squires. Like,
they string you up.
They get tortured, all these horrible things. And Maximus is like, okay, maybe I won't be giving you this stim pack. So he like basically lets him die. And it's like, can you blame him?
It's meant to be a water filter. No matter how much sand I put in it, I just get more sand.
She comes across a pawn shop where it's like, all right, there's a lot of Vault-Tec equipment here. Clearly, you know a lot about Vault-Tec. There's this awkward exchange between her and the shopkeeper. And it's like, yeah, you two are from very different worlds. One's very well-to-do. The other is just like, this is what you have to do to survive. And again, she gets that advice like, all right, you should just go back to your vault. And this is where you really get to see for the first time that, yeah, the people on the surface, they really don't like vault dwellers. Not only because they're like, you know, they're so different, they're just like weak, they're not really made for the surface, but also like the people that are in the vaults, not necessarily the ones in there now, but like initially they clearly had the money to do so. So Dr. Wilzig's also at the same time heading to the same exact pawn shop. And this is where the pot is brewing. Something big is about to happen because just off to the side is Cooper. And he's just like fiddling around with a jar of, it's a chemical that keeps him sane. It keeps him from becoming a feral ghoul. And I believe in the next episode, they're actually gonna get in more into that. So when the Enclave discovered that their doctor was missing and another scientist was murdered, they sent out a bounty. And obviously Cooper is here to claim that bounty. The doctor's right in front of him. He's not going to let him slip. So there's this big fight that happens, right? Cooper clearly has the upper hand. Nobody there is a match for him. And I just want to point out that Cooper's gun sounds amazing. It's like tung, tung. So the shopkeeper has a ledger that Lucy discovers, and she finds that, okay, Moldave is like on the list. So she was paid a lot of caps to go bring the doctor to Moldave. And that's exactly where the doctor wants to be. So I'm going to assume that the twist is going to be that, okay, this is actually all like the Enclave is the real villain here. Like this is theory time. This is my prediction. And that Moldave is actually going to be a good person, despite, you know, massacring most of the people in Vault 33. Lucy looks at a weapon that's really goddamn cool. It's the junk jet. I loved using the junk jet in Fallout 4. Basically, it's a thing where you take all of the junk you have in your inventory that you collect in the game, and you collect a lot of junk in the game. You basically pick up everything, right? So you have a lot of ammo. You just chuck it into the gun and it shoots it out, and it's just like, that's like the most versatile gun you could have in the apocalypse. And just when you think all hope is lost and that Cooper has his bounty, Maximus shows up.
She said stand down.
Maximus in his newly acquired power armor. He doesn't know how to use it exactly, and he does end up losing the fight pretty much because Cooper outsmarts him and he like cuts a tube. I guess like something incredibly vital for the system. And I should mention that during this fight, the doctor loses his leg. Cooper blasts it off. And how he gets a new leg is so Fallout. There's this like build a leg kit basically in a box. And there's like a grinder where the leg is going to be attached. And it's like incredibly brutal. It's very, very gory. And this robot leg is like not compatible in the slightest. So basically while Cooper and Knight Titus, quote unquote, are fighting outside, the doctor's like, all right, because the shopkeeper was shot in the leg, obviously she can't move. She can't really walk anywhere. Lucy agrees basically to take the doctor to Moldave because they both have a shared interest, right?
Besides, no offense, but you're in no condition to travel.
So now the hunt begins. The doctor and Lucy are out there in the wasteland. Cooper's over there in Philly and he's like, all right, I've got to find this doctor. He sees the dead dog, well, almost dead dog. The dog's been shot, but he's like, you know what? This is an adaptation of a video game. Let's just use a stim pack on the dog. He basically resuscitates the dog just so that he can use the dog's knowledge of the doctor. Like the dog has the doctor's scent, right? Lucy and the doctor are wandering the wasteland.
This will have to do.
And it's clear the doctor is not doing too well. That robot leg is like barely attached. It looks like it's like, does this ever work? Is there ever a good situation where this robot leg just works beautifully? Because it really doesn't seem like that's the case. So the doctor secretly takes a cyanide pill that he says was made by Vault-Tec.
Vault-Tec Plan D. It was the most humane product that Vault-Tec ever made. It was quick, painless, tasted like banana.
And it's funny because in the beginning of this episode, Lucy comes across a bottle and it says Vault-Tec Plan B. So like they had a variety of contingency plans for the apocalypse. If you wanted to not experienced in nukes. And it turns out that Dr. Wilzig actually knows her name, like, and she's, so it's like, they're setting up a lot of mystery here. Like, how does the doctor know Lucy? How does Moldave know Lucy's mother? This will all be revealed soon. But now they're at a crossroads. They got a problem here. The doctor has to make his way to Moldave, but he can't make it there physically, and he needs to get that thing to her, right? The MacGuffin, the transistor, as I called it. So how's he going to do that? Bring my head to Moldave. That's the proposal he makes to Lucy. He even hands her this amazing saw blade from Fallout. It looks incredible. It sounds pretty good too. Weird thing to say, but it does sound really good. Like, it's an Easter egg. It's like, well, is it an Easter egg if it's in the Fallout show itself? It's a reference. Whatever it is, it's cool. And this is going to be one of the things that Lucy has to do that's very grotesque and like out of her element as a vault dweller. There's going to be a lot more of those to come. Overall, though, I would rate this one, like, this was a really good episode. I liked one of my favorite moments was with Knight Titus and Maximus. Of course, the showdown between Cooper and Maximus was also pretty damn good. I would still rate it roughly on the same par with the first episode. I would rate this a 9 out of 10. Highly recommend this show. Really good. If you got Amazon Prime, it's right there for you to watch. But how do you feel about it? Leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. This is a new channel, so every little bit counts, you know? Thank you so much for watching.